Welcome back to another episode of Rich Girl Real Talk, where the vibe is elevation and joy. I am your host, Erica Rich, and I am so happy that you are with me on this day. Now, whatever day of the week that you decide to roll with your girl, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for tapping in. If you're new, welcome. And if you're a returning friend, hey girl, hey or hey homeboy, hey hombre. I don't know if I'm saying it right, so forgive me for those that, that know for real what it's supposed to be. Anywho, so I just wanted to just tap into something that I have talked about before, which is my love for music. My love for music, my love for dancing, and how I just, whenever I just need to just shake off the day or just get in like a little bag of sexiness or even just fun, I just go ahead and tap into, finding some good music and just getting it popping. Now, who is my inspo? For those that know, it is Miss Janet Jackson. I love me some Janet. I just love the way she comes on the stage and commands and controls everything, okay? Uh-oh, there was a pun intended, but it wasn't, but now it is. Control. So, yes, she gets on there and she kills it, and every bit of her is emotion. Her swag, her energy, her demeanor, her costumes. I mean, the whole gambit. She just gives the vibe. If you need a vibe of sexiness, if you need a vibe of control, just go ahead and tap into your girl Janet. Just think of one moment where you done seen her get her little control back or reclaim her time, and you already know that you are in for the win. So I love me some Janet. I find inspiration. Okay, that is one of my favorite queens when it comes to just that aura, that essence of divine energy, divine feminine energy. Also, just looking at her beauty, her talent, and her level of confidence, and just being able to just take on and embody everything that she wants to, convey to you. You feel it. And I just love it. I love her energy. Janet is a bar. She is a bar, the bar. And if you ask me, ain't too many people still messing with her. When she's in, like, think about Janet in her prime. Even now she still get it popping, but Janet in her prime, she ain't to be fucked with. She not. She is not. And I said it and I stand by it. Fight me on it. But another person that exudes that divine feminine energy in her own way and is so beautiful and so commanding, I have to give it to Miss Angela Bassett. It just doesn't make any sense. The woman is 60 something years old, 60 plus, and still giving the girls a go for the money. I mean, she's so intelligent. She's so strong. She's so talented. She's so beautiful. And, even if she, like, whatever she decided to sell on a commercial, I will be for it. Any type of beauty cream or any type of, like, whatever it is, I'm sold. Well, not whatever it is, but you know what I mean. Within reason, I will be sold. I mean, she's just the consummate professional, and she just handles herself with such dignity and grace, and her femininity and her sexuality and her every bit of her core and her essence, it just conveys and commands and controls all of what she is, which is amazing and beautiful. It's that divine energy that I just have to applaud. Every time I see her, I just am in awe of just how amazing she is. She just is. I mean, in her interviews, at the award shows, we're not going to talk about it, but I know she was robbed. She's been robbed too many times. She needs any and all awards because, I mean, she's always given us the business. She's always given us what we have come to the movie theater for. She just exudes such a regal essence, and she doesn't have to say she's a queen for you to know she's a queen when she walks in, and that's another bar. She doesn't have to say it when you can already just walk in and people know, that's a bar. that is the standard. You know, I just want to just say I have to give her that flower, of those flowers, not just a flower, not just one little lily. We're gonna give her the full dozen or the 2 dozen, or even beyond that, because she deserves it as well. She was robbed. I said it. Anywho, so when it comes to the question of the week, what's the question of the week? The question of the week is, where do you get your energy and your confidence from? And how do you activate that muscle? And how do you use it positively in your space? So it's always interesting. Like, what does confidence look like? We all have our own perceived view of what it is. But here's what Oxford says: confidence is a feeling of self assurance arising from one's appreciation of one's own abilities or qualities. Come on, it's like, oh, I already know what's up. I already know what I bring to the table. I know who I am and what I offer. So that's always a good thing. So it's a reflection time. So it's like, where do I get my confidence from? I definitely have to say, I shout out my mom. My mom, to me, she's one of the sexiest, coolest, most, just confident women. She told me this one time too. She is very much, she expresses her humility muscle, but then she always likes to tap into that Scorpio inside of her, and she'll be like, I don't subscribe to that, but I say, oh yeah, you do, a little bit, just a little bit. And she says, I don't have to be the prettiest girl in the room, but I have to be the sexiest, and you're gonna know it. And I mean, I just love the way she does that, because of course she does have this confidence and this wow factor when she comes into a room. And I felt like, by me just watching her and observing her in her element of just standing in her own divine femininity and divine feminine energy, was a masterclass of a high value woman, knowing her intellectual capacity, because she's definitely one of the smartest women I know, and also knowing her worth and daring to do her and to be her unapologetically in front of anyone and everyone. And she's a very sweet woman, but she also is like, but you're not, she's also that woman where you're not gonna just sit there and say or tell her who she is, because she knows who she is. So you can't tell her what she shouldn't already know about herself. Okay. So I felt like she was one of my master classes of who I received that that initial gust of what does confidence look like. Now, of course, like I said, I come from that cloth, and I found my own way, because I couldn't look to her. I had to look within, because it's about the confidence of what I bring to the table. So, yeah, she can pour into me what she does, but it's ultimately me tapping into what makes me special, what makes me sure of in my own unique space. So I've had to, re-examine that, especially after just life, and, just being able to just recognize me as a woman, as a 36-year-old woman. What do I bring to the table, especially after having a baby? It's like, who am I? What makes me different? What makes me me? And just continuing to tap into that. And I find that the more I tap into that, the more I am sure of who I am, and the more I'm sure of what I bring to the table, what I carry with me, what I find to be my unique characteristics, not just physically, but just also intellectually. Also, just the aura I bring, and how I contribute to my family, and what are those things that allow me to be myself in those spaces. And I find that to be sexy, to be able to tap into who I am and what I do, and that I was created, my divine purpose was to be me and only me, and not be anybody else, because if I'm somebody else, I'm a fraud. And it shows when you acting real fraudulent. That's when it's like, okay, this isn't her, or this isn't this individual, this is somebody else. So, just being able to see and find my own unique divine energy, and also just being true and sturdy and who God made me to be, not who He poured into my life for me to see what they do or what that person does or how they dress. Or and sexiness does, and I have learned that sexiness not isn't just what you wear, it's how you walk, it's how you talk, it's how you stare somebody in the eye, it's how you recognize that, oh, I see your high value, but also see mine. When I step into the room and when I command that, and when I am me unapologetically, that to me is sexy. Because when I see my husband and I think of him, and he knows himself to the point where nobody can shake him, nobody can rattle him. When it's like he moves at his own cadence. Like he got a little, I mean, now he bagged the girl, so you know he got some sweat. But it just was the energy. And I even just say, wherever he is and whatever he's doing, he always puts himself in the space of just being true to him. And I love that. So that's always the bar. So, with that being said, I also just studied the people around me. But of course, what does that mean? I sharpen the sharpening of the iron, the sharpening of those skills, tapping into me, but also looking around and saying, "Oh, well, I admire that this is who they are." But okay, that's cool, because that's us being this kind of like a merging of a Power Ranger type of vibe, where her powers combine, our powers combine, and we have a good time, but also we just exude this big bubble of fun and sexiness. And you always want to have positivity. So that's another part of being confident. When you are happy and you're not in your own feeling and in your own thought and in your own head, you can be able to be yourself and have a good time. And the more you love yourself and are sure and sturdy in who you are, that allows you to be able to be in any room and be able to command that space, because people are like, wow, they're having fun. They're doing their thing. I want some of that. I want to drink some of what they're drinking, because it's always the bar. Yeah. So, this week is just about tapping into remembering what it is that makes you you, what it makes you special, because each and every one of us has something that God has given us, not just physically, but intellectually, emotionally, that only we can offer to the world, and that is a bar. And being able to just stand in your full power, stand in who you are, knowing what you deliver, what you bring to the table, what your potential is for you to catapult yourself to the next level, not just for your family, but for just you, and everything that makes you who you are is what makes you great. And allowing yourself to not focus on what's happening around you, because beauty is fleeting, things come and go, but who you are and what God said about you, that stands forever. So also in this moment and in this question, in this time, my urge to you, my request is that you tap into who that person is, and also recognize that daily affirmations are powerful. Speaking life into yourself, knowing your worth, knowing how special you are, and speaking life into yourself is so powerful. Speaking love and being kind to yourself, because there's so many people in this world that are willing to take you down and to make you feel less than, because of their own subscriptions to what they cognitively believe to be this or that and the third. And we're not living for them. We're living to make ourselves, and of course ultimately for me, making God pleased with what I do and who He called me to be. So again, those are some of the things that are so important in this quest to try to continue to build that muscle. Now, there was something that I found on reachout.com. It's an article that was found in Australia, that I found from an Australian website called reachout.com, and it talked about how to build self-confidence. And it was talking about making a list of achievements. and things in your life that you're proud of. Acknowledge your personal strengths and talents and remind yourself of them often. But you also want to set realistic goals for yourself. Practice positive self-talk. That is that goes back to that those daily affirmations. And of course, making hobbies conducive to you continue to tap into yourself, and also something that's going to help um what's the word, help you to really challenge yourself. Do something that you thought that you would like to do that you didn't really get a chance to do at whatever age, and you say, okay, well, today's the day, the week, this is the week, this is the month where I'm going to actively pursue something that I thought about doing, and set that goal and continue to just keep on trying and building into being your very best, your very best self. Also, just if you need to, because not only is it about self-confidence, is about being able to tap into who you are, it's also about making sure that you are mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually your best self. So even if you have to talk to a counselor, it talks about that in the article as well. Talking to a counselor and just thinking about some self-management strategies that you guys can build together to continue to keep you on that trajectory of being your best self, elevating yourself to your highest potential. And that is why I did love the show Insecure. I missed that show so much. It was so amazing. I identified with Issa. I identified with all the different characters for different things. Now, if you were to ask me, like, I feel like I'm a merge between Issa and I think it was, what's her name? Tasha. Like, it was funny. Like, the girl, she always had something going on. But it was amazing because Issa checked in with herself. She checked in, and she was not only checking in with herself, but she was her own hype woman. Issa would get up on there, up in that mirror, and just go to work when it came to her little freestyles. But it took her to a time and a space to be able to check in. And that's what we have to do when we're in a space where we want to stay confident. We want to continue to know who we are. Is we have know who we are. We have to be able to check in, even in the difficult times. Issa checked in with herself. She even cursed herself out, and that's not positive self-talk, but sometimes we have to have real conversations like, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? That is not it. That is not the bar. You know better. Know better, do better. And the next time you come back, you better have something else for me, you know? But I love that she checked in with herself and she looked in the mirror and she took a long look at herself. And that's what we have to do. We have to tap in, have the real conversations, grow from that. Take the times, take those L's and pivot, or take those moments where we fell a little short, but also take that moment to pivot and continue to remind ourselves that we still got the juice. Even if we made this yesterday was bad, but today we're going to make it better. We are going to make it better. We're going to have this juice. We're going to drink our own juice. We're going to hop out of bed. We're going to get our swag on. And we're going to look in the mirror and say, what's up? We're going to do that because that is what makes us keep going. And we can't just keep beating ourselves up on things that we did yesterday. We just have to move onward and forward. And that's about being confident. That's another portion of being confident, is saying, okay, yeah, not only am I not perfect, that's okay, but I know who I am, and I know that this L, it doesn't define me for tomorrow. It won't define me for tomorrow. And as I minister to you, I minister to myself. I gotta say it sometimes because I'm like, I used to, really, really beat myself up about, just different mistakes. But that was just me and some other bags. But until I became the bag lady that got rid of the bags, I'm taking them to the Goodwill as we speak, or at least in my head I am. That's my plan, And that's my way of being able to release, because again, nobody's perfect, but we are all imperfectly us. Perfectly us. And as we elevate and we grow, we continue to just do what we have to do, which is know ourselves, love ourselves, be kind to ourselves. And remember, confidence is so sexy. And when we see somebody just so sure and about it and rowdy and just saying, okay, this is what it is, we're going to keep going. It's just something about that. It's something about that. That is my time for the day. But I would love to just say and leave you with this scripture. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So even if you can't do it, at least if you can lean on him, he gives you what you need in order to continue to keep your swag up. Be like, okay, all right, this did not work the way I wanted it to, but maybe tomorrow we're gonna figure this out, a pivot, and we're gonna be able to just get our juice back. So that's that, giving us what we need on our day to day. Thank you so much for listening. And just remember, there are new shows every Wednesday, y'all. So I want you to tap in. Make sure that you subscribe. Now, when you subscribe, it's not going to give you a whole bunch of snail mail. That's not what happens. It's a way for me to just connect and just hit you back saying thank you for your support. And if there's anything that we have major as far as events when they do come, that's where I'll let you know. But it's not going to be a lot of snail mail. So just hit me up, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Go to my social medias, Rich Girl Real Talk, RGRT. Hit me up there. You can go to my website, which will be tagged to all of my social media accounts as well as on YouTube. Thank you so much again. And also, I want to leave you with this. Love yourself. Be kind to yourself. And know that you can do all things through Christ. Bye for now.
Rich Girl Real Talk.